Hi, y'all. I'm Gigi. I'm coming on with our Attracting a Life Beyond Your Dream system. Tonight, we are going to dive into the conversation of fun. I know that sounds super strange, but it's such an important concept. And for myself, I have been in this really weird space in my life where I'm kind of like in between seasons. And so, what I've been experiencing a lot of the times, I hear myself saying, I don't even know what's fun to me anymore. I don't even know what I like to do anymore because I feel like overall I've just changed so much as a person. But one of the beautiful things that has been happening in my world recently, I'd say within the past week or so, really honestly, since I started making a commitment to get back to posting videos and doing things like that, is that old parts of me that I was forced to let go of essentially are resurfacing. And what I mean by that is in this season that I am leaving, I had to, when I was sat down with God for this past year and a half, like spiritually, when I was sat down and kind of isolated and put into this different space, I had to leave a lot of things behind, pretty much all of who I was or who I knew myself to be. And I take it a step further to even say before that, like really having my daughter, she's 3, about to be 3 in a couple weeks, but having her is when my life kind of shifted and everything became focused around her. And in that, I lost everything that I was or that I liked to do or that I used to enjoy. And so as I am exiting that era of my life and entering into this new season, and I am now a business owner and I am stepping into these new spaces and these new places, I'm reintroducing myself into things that I used to enjoy, such as yoga, meditation, journaling, things that I didn't necessarily have the time for because I became so focused around being a mom and then starting a school shortly after becoming a mom. And then I'm getting my master's degree. And then, I wrote a book. So it's just like there were so many different components that came in that prevented me from really doing things that did bring me joy. And so my life started to feel a lot of dullness, and it started to feel like, man, all I do is work and do this. Like I'm on a repeat. And I was trying so hard to get super organized and trying to fit into this mold to the point where I was losing me and losing why I'm even doing this. And honestly, God set me down over this past week and a half. And as I'm journaling and as I'm meditating and as I'm getting back into yoga and even reading, because right now, I haven't read a book in a few months, and I love to read romantic novels, but I also like to read transformation books or spiritual books. And it's just like I've been reading the Bible in a year, so I haven't even been pleasure reading or reading for my stimulation outside of reading the Bible. And so within that, this past week and a half, I've been getting back into those hobbies and getting back into the older versions of myself. And I'm rediscovering parts of myself that I know now would be really beneficial in this part of the journey, because I've always been different. I've always marched to my own beat of my own drum. So when I think about those things, sorry, I have to slow it down. My braces make me talk weird. But anyways, when I think of those things, I think of how many other people are kind of in seasons where they're transitioning from who they were and they're going into this new space. But in that space, it's like, what do I do for fun? What do I do for joy? What do I do for this? Don't lose all of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to remove every single thing about you. And if you are forced into that type of season, when you are called back into yourself, remember the small things that bring you joy. Obviously, you want to stay away from toxic habits. If you like to go get lit every weekend and you're trying to be a better person and this and that, that's different. But hobbies that were already stimulating to you and creating growth and positivity and led to your growth, do not negate to incorporate those. And so that brings me back to my topic of fun. I love to explore. I'm an adventurer. And so having my daughter and not really having that time to myself to explore and stuff, it made me lose my childlike wonder. And so I started getting into the space of life just feeling really dull. And so now that I'm awakening and I'm feeling myself, my senses coming back a lot to life, and I'm feeling myself coming back to life, it's like I have this urge now to explore, and now taking my daughter to explore so that she's able to have that thirst for knowledge and able to see things that I never got to see as a kid. And honestly, just it is fun for me to be me. It is fun for me to not live in a box that people try to put me in or try to fit into the narrative that they tell me that I need to fit in. One thing I'm learning within this whole process of spiritual growth and awakening and awareness is that the rest of the world has their own way of doing things. You are not going to do the same things that your best friend does, or your mom does, or your grandma does, or your uncle, or your cousins, or your brothers, your sisters, whoever. You're not going to do the same exact things as them. And it's okay to take advice from people, but ultimately, in order for you to enjoy this life, in order for your life to be fun, you have to be true to you. So what you like, and organize your life to look like, and sort your things out in the way that you need to operate may not look like the other people in your life. 9 times out of 10, it really won't. Like for me, I don't really know anybody that operates the same way that I do. And it's okay. I'm not mad at that. I love everybody for who they are and how they operate in their life. But I was losing myself in trying so hard to fit these molds of what I thought I needed to be, because it was getting into the space of like, I'm entering into new territory. This all looks new and I need to take all of these pieces. But one thing to remind yourself of is, yes, you are entering into new territory, but you are entering into new territory. What I'm saying when I emphasize you, it's meaning that God prepared you as you were to enter into this territory. God selected you to enter into this territory. That means that he needs you to show up in your uniqueness in order to embody the roles that are needed for this new territory. Yes, that is going to require you to learn something new. That is going to require you to push yourself, but do not change your core values. And also enjoy this. He didn't put us into this space to go through all of these things, all of these periods of suffering and sacrifice to get to the space and not enjoy it. Think about the story of David. If you are into the Bible, and if you are not, you can still resonate and follow the story. David went through war. You know what I'm saying? He was constantly at war because he killed Goliath, like he got rid of his Goliath, but then after that, he went on the run because the person that honored him and loved him was now out to get him and wanting to kill him. And so he's on the run from that. He escapes that and he celebrates when he does. He doesn't celebrate the losing of the person that was chasing him and all that. But whenever David has a victory, you will hear him singing. You will hear him dancing. You will hear him doing the Psalms. Like that's what you will read, that he celebrated his victories. And so when I think about that, it's like, damn, he was going through all of these things. He was going through all of these trials and tribulations. But every time God helped him to be victorious and he would make it on the other side, he would celebrate that. He would have fun. Because for you to be dancing and singing as a grown man that just like attacked some shit, you just came off war, but you're in the middle of the street, everybody's there, and you like, my God, my God, my God, or whatever you're doing. That means you were having fun. You were living in joy. You were celebrating. And so, yes, he just suffered because he just came out of war. That's suffering. That's war. That's murder. That's brutality. But he was celebrating the victory. And so we are meant to celebrate. We are meant to have fun. And God designed each of us individually to be and to live in our authentic truth. So don't forget to celebrate your victories, no matter how small you think that they are, because the celebration is our praise to God. The celebration is our way of saying thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for who you are. I'll give you another example and then I'm going to get out of here. If you are not resonating with the biblical example, imagine your child or your friend or your sibling or whomever. Imagine you give them a really beautiful birthday gift, something that they have been asking for all year. And then you were like, man, I saved up. I got $1,000 so I can go buy them this, or I got $50 for this game or whatever. And then you hand it to them and they're like, oh, cool. The next model's already out. So thanks, I guess. How would you feel? That is basically how we make our Creator, the Most High, feel when we've been praying and doing all these things, and then he sends us a little sprinkle. He's like, hey, here's a sundae for you. And then we're just like, oh, thanks. I like ice cream, but should have gave me chocolate. This is vanilla, so thanks. It's disrespectful. So, anyways, fun. Have fun, celebrate, give thanks. Fun is the highest frequency. Like love, fun, joy, all of those are the highest frequencies. They all stem from love. But those are the highest frequencies, and those allow God to know that you are grateful for the blessings that He's sending in your life. So many of them go unanswered and unacknowledged, and why would He keep sending you things if you're going to keep being ungrateful? I'm saying that to myself as well. And so, find a reason to celebrate, find fun, and don't forget yourself. Most importantly, stay true to you. So that is my message. I pray that this reaches who it needs to. Peace be upon you. Namaste.